Okay, let's rip straight into the action. Look at a market for the first on the program, which is an 82 over the 2,000 metres. Frankie the Fox at $4. Monderani, 4.20. We know that has taken significant money. And To Love You is at $5.50. Stephen, how's this market changing over the last half an hour or so?
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Bevan, number 7, Monderani, very keen, very popular, best back runner on the card as it stands right now and trading. And the money's really flowed as soon as we opened this market on Thursday around Monderani. $4.40 was its top peak at $4.20. I believe it will start favourite, even though it sits in that second line of betting at $4.20. It's a $31 chance to take out the New Zealand Cup over 2 miles next Saturday. They'll be wanting to win this race to get it up in ratings and qualify for that particular event for the Kevin Myers stable. I think punters are well on that. Just forget its last start on a heavy track. Monderani back on a good surface. Frankie the Fox, not friendless, not going to try and put punters off for the fact that there's been so much money around the Kevin Myers second favourite, but Frankie the Fox has rewarded punters in its last 2 starts. There is enough to reinvest there. I don't, again, stress, want to put punters off Frankie the Fox. Outside that, it's been very, very friendless. To Love You in that third line, 5 out to $5.50. Anything could happen, $5.50 out to $6. A little bit of specking around Sataris, 10 into $8.50. But overall, Monderani is the talking horse in race 1.
Okay, let's have a look at the speed map for race number 1. It is over the 2,000 metres. Greg, there's a lot of yellow rather than green there, and it wouldn't be any surprise to see KT Myers win the first of the Cup Carnival.
No, he has a wonderful record here at Riccarton Park. In fact, he has a wonderful record anywhere, doesn't he, Bevan? I'm very keen on one here, and it's not his runner. I'm keen on anything can happen. We'll get to him in a moment. Frankie the Fox, though, is in terrific form, and look, was too good here last time. Has been beautifully prepared once again by Mike McCann. Look how far back in the field he got. That was at the 72 level. Yes, he goes up to 82 today, but he carries the same weight, of course, and he beat Poppin Rock, who also went a very good race for the Prendergast, has Kylie Williams aboard again today. But you see him get to the outside. He's a bit raw still, this horse. He's only had the 15 starts, but he loves it here at Riccarton Park, and you had to like the way he found the line here. With the rail out quite a wee way, he really found it, and found it in good style. So he's a big chance of winning again. Poppin Rock, back to form. Absolutely have to concur that it can find its way into the top 4, but Frankie's in such good form, and with that same weight, I don't see this field being a lot deeper than what he has been racing against, and therefore he has to be accorded a very big chance. Here's anything that could happen, or anything could happen, and this did happen on Cup Day last year. Chris Johnson and Stephen Woodsford combined. About 200 metres earlier than this, anything could happen was last. Storms down the outside here, and once he did this, went on and won them in a row. Won again here at Riccarton Park, and won at Koorau with 60 kilos. So don't be concerned about the 57.5. Its last 2 runs, particularly the last one, was in behind Chief Sequoia in the Spring Classic. Does go up in weight as a result of that, but I just think he's a very, very good each-way chance in the first on the program. Anything could happen, and I'm prepared to make him one of the bets of the day, certainly on an each-way basis. So anything can happen, can win race number 1 for mine, Bevan, and I think can get the punters off to a flying start here at Riccarton Park. Obviously, Monderani, if there's a New Zealand Cup planned there, must be considered for this too.
Race number 2 is the Garrett's Horse and Hound Premier, rating 72 over the 1,400 metres. Nellie Bly is $3.50 off an opening quote of $4.50. We did have the 1 Top Laurels come out of the market here, but Stephen, plenty given a shout in race number 2.
Yeah, they're pretty keen on the favourite. Sween's number 8, Nellie Bly, opened at 4.5, now trading $3.50, with that 2 kg claim gets it down to 55 kilograms and probably accounts for 35% of total turnover, including a $2,000 bet at $4 we accepted yesterday afternoon on the Pitman runner. Awesome Ale will be suited by the big roomy Riccarton Straight, $4.50 out to $5. Tri-Fan very well supported. Overall, it's a pretty solid market, and Tri-Fan's one of them that they've specced in that third line, $7.50 into $6.5. He's our secret, sense of timing third up, and we'll appreciate the 7 furlongs. 3 of its 4 wins have been over the 1,400 metres, 7 into 6.5. And a little bit of speaking for Abrahams to outrun his currently traded price of $17 as it stands right now, a losing liability. But best lead is at the top of the block, number 8, Nellie Bly.
Let's have a look at the speed map for race number 2 on the program. And look, the air covers come off Abraham's, and he looks the obvious speed in the race here, Greg.
Yeah, he does. Has Troy Harris today as well. Look, I thought he should have gone a better race at Motukarara. Maybe it was the sharp turning bend into the straight there that might have put him off. He will love Riccarton and loves the wide open spaces. So he's one of half a dozen horses that easily could win this race. Nellie Bly's favourite and deserves to be. She's just been going great. This is her. Got back in the field as invariably she does. She's beautifully drawn today at gate 4. Probably won't get as far back. And she does step up to 1400, which hasn't been her preferred distance, but she's in such great form, there's no reason to think that she won't handle it today. So if she goes like this here last time at the last meeting here, Labour weekend, then she'll take all sorts of beating.
Out wide, Nellie Bly and Lake Shellis coming fast. Wicked Force is back. Nellie Bly, the middle out wide. Lake Shellis, they come to it, and I don't know. Nellie Bly, the middle's put in a dive right on.
When you consider Wicker Force is under $10 for the Pegasus today, the Nellie Bly form should well and truly stack up. I think the Pittman team can run 1-2. Pin Up Cope is an absolute threat. Second up does have form in that condition as well. Awesome L for the Benner Wynyard team, and Jason Waddell has to be respected as well in the last start third at Trentham, albeit on a heavy track. Was good enough to suggest that coming here today, after a run at the Hastings meeting, Bevan, which was a good one too, must be respected. And he's our secret, is always finding the line. So it's got to be a first 4 hope too. I've left out Tri-Fan. There's a couple others there that are chances too. It's an open go the second.
Indeed, and it looks a very open go. The third to my eye, your favourite has run 3 placings in a row in Capodano for Lisa Allpress, drawn out in the car park. It is the Dakins Group Premier Maiden over the 1400 metres. Open 420, 350, Savvy Lad. Now this is one that's been spruiked a fraction at 360, and he seems to be a little bit of specking for the 9 here as well. Stephen?
Interesting race, Bevan. Number 1, Capodano, open second favourite at a $4.20 price. A lot of action around this particular runner happened on Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, but just in the last 24 hours it's all been about number 7, Savvy Lad, who roughly double the investment on Savvy Lad v the number 1 in Capodano, even though it stands in that 1-1 of betting. I don't think it's going to be too much between them. 350 plays 360. Again, no confidence on who will start favourite, but 10 cents separate them currently. In that third line of betting, Alberon at $6, opening now to 6.5. Slingo's been a big drifter, $8.50 out to $13. A couple I should mention, Torman, the one you mentioned quickly, their swings. I think it's one a jump out. Has been a bit of a spruik around this horse as soon as betting commenced during the week. Opened at 19s, now trading at 17s. If the race was to jump right now, it's a losing liability. And as is number 12, 2 Fairlaxed. Chris Johnson and Stephen Woodsford, when they combine, we've got to take note here in Petone, currently a losing result at $23.
Speed maps become very important when you get to this sort of size field over the 1400 metres at Riccarton, and it looks as though the favourite here, Greg, will certainly have to work across, and that'll be an effort from out there with a little bit of speed inside.
6, 2 and 7 have been the draws Capodano has been faced with so far. 16's a bit different. It'll be working overtime to get the front. Absolutely can win the race, but I think the advantage goes to Savvy Lad in that regard. 2 very good runs at second at Timaru. First up was a very good run behind Can't Say Enough, and then last time Exaltation's No Slouch did look the winner about the 200 metres. So I think Savvy Lad gets its chance from the barrier to land a little bit closer here, Bevan, and therefore have its chance to beat Capodano. Gave Alberon a chance, Daniel Hirani, and of course the other Kevin Myers runner Tormund. I'm absolutely respecting it with Rosie Myers, and if there's money on at those longer odds, I've been to these carnivals too long, Bevan, not to respect that.
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a key. Race number 4 is the Avonhead Tavern Premier, a 72 over the 1100 metres. We look to the bottom of the book here in Woodcote Lass, who was only beaten 5.5 behind Sherwood Forest over 1600 metres, so comes back to the 1100 metres, and Stephen, he's been really well found in the market.
You open at $3.30, Bevan, out to $3.50, but again, don't get put off by that slight drift out a couple of turns, just to overall tighten up the book percentage, running at 124 currently. Woodcote Lass, you bang on there, Punters pretty keen, the fact that it's back to a sprinting trip. Has to take on the older horses here, Woodcote Lass. Not easy this time of the year for a 3-year-old filly. But the other horse they're pretty keen on is number 10, TC Coupe. In fact, it's the best back runner in this race, even though it sits in the fourth line of betting. Opened at $6.50, now trading at $5.50. The Pittman stable have 3 runners, and clearly this is the best back runner out of them. First up, and last prep was good enough to run 5th in a listed race. In behind, Emily Margaret in the NZB Insurance Stakes. So it's got a bit of black form pedigree last campaign. So that's one we're just keeping a close eye on.
Okay, Gregor was just writing down numbers that look as though they will go forward. As we have a look at the speed map, I ended up with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so this will be run at pretty good tempo.
Oh yeah, there's some real speed here. The likes of Pipiana, they leave the machine very quickly. Desert Magic, you're right. There's a few that'll be looking for the front, and therefore I can see a horse like TC Cope just posied in behind them. Yes, stakes run last time, had a lot of merit in it. Spoke to Michael Pittman yesterday, and we're going to have him on throughout the day with an update on he and Matt's chances. And he said, I think this is right up there with our best today. Has been working the house down, and therefore I'm more than happy to have her on top. Massive chance. Magnify was good last time. Troy Harris, Terry Ray. Terry's team is really flying at the moment, and here is Magnify, the son of Stratum. Look, I don't know that the field was that deep, but he was simply too good for them, and the widest draw with so much speed, I don't think it'll make too much difference today, so it's got to be respected. Comes through the gap there and finds the line strongly, and again, it's only been to Riccarton Park once, and this is what he did.
Got checked out of it. Magnify got through. Magnify hit the lead. Perfidia can't say enough in Clooney. It's Magnify, 75 to go. Punched out by Troy Harris. Blinkers on today, too good. Magnify beats home either Perfidia or Clooney. Fourth in can't say enough, then came Sedatore.
So he did win pretty comfortably, didn't he? So I think this is a step up this race though. So he'll need to go as well again. But TC Cope, the mare by Swiss Ace. This is her second win, and it's a really nice performance here at Riccarton Park. Yes, it's back in February, and yes, she hasn't raced since March, but if she goes like she did here back in February, and she's working as well as what Michael Pittman's suggesting, then she'll be hard to beat.
Three-way go, Alonso, TC Cope, devious, here's the post, TC Cope. Never wanted to be on the favourite till right at the line and it won. TC.
And the other great thing about that, and the reason we wanted to show you that video, is have a look how hard she tries here. Stretches the neck, ears go back. There was no way she wanted to get beaten. And I love to see that in a racehorse, particularly in a tight finish, Bevan. So I'm happy to be on TC Cope today.
First of the features of the Cup Carnival is the Esberg Insurance Services Pegasus over the 1,000 metres. We have Sensei here for 20. Don Carlo fresh up $8.20, Disturbance at $8, has had the one run in this preparation. Weka Force always carries a lot of money. She's All Mine, Sam Winterboard there at $8, and last year's winner is in this race at 19s and back on the 53, but Weka Force always carries a lot of money here, Stephen.
Best lead clearly has been number 11, Weka Force Swains. I'll start with this individual, open at $9.50 during the week, got as short as 7th this morning, and even since then it's come into $5. We just cannot turn off the tap around Weka Force. Will be suited by the 1,000 metres. Lisa Allpress will get her out of barrier 4. She'll be hard to run down. Back to the top line of the betting, number 4, Sensei. The betting is opposing this individual swings. I think this horse might be better suited. $1,200 on Wednesday, and the Stewards, $3.80 out to $4.20 represents that they're speaking against the Pittman runner. Disturbance will be improved, $7.50 out to $8, not friendless, even though it's out of turn. She's All Mine, well supported this morning. Got as high as $9.50, traded into $8. Don Carlo is friendless, hasn't raced since April, might need the run, $6.50 out to $10. A little bit of specking around Hugo the Boss. I think they'll go forward with this individual. Blinkers on first time, or second up, should I say, for the John Barry stable. 14 on offer during the week. We accepted a $2,000 bet at $14 to get its price down to 11. Vinny's Volley, the stablemate, not friendless, $18. And Casa Quinman, the one you touched on, the defending champ, won this race last year, not friendless, 21 into 19, albeit he has to win this race on a good track via slow track 12 months ago.
Yeah, I have seen him working up and behind the scenes actually. Saw a track gallop at Woodville. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if Kessa Quinman can go back to back, but it is, I think, stronger than last year. Let's have a look at the speed map, and as with horses over 1,000 metres, the speed comes from everywhere you look, Rick.
Yeah, It does. Gee, I'm surprised by that move on Weka Force. Absolutely, she can be in this, but she's gone from 72 to an open. Yeah, only 53 kilos, but gee, there's some talented horses in this. Don Carlo was second in it last year. Yes, the track was completely different, but he's a fair galloper. We know at the top of the book, Signify is a Group 1 winner. Sensei was third, of course, third equal. In the Telegraph. Let's have a look at the run in the Telegraph. Just got 1 or 2 spots further away from Enzo's Lad, who I understand is working out brilliantly and trialled at Motukarara during the week. So nice to have, after his international campaign, him back and in good order. But that's Sensei with Chris Johnson on. Today has Sam Weatherly and has missed a couple of runs. Track conditions haven't been suitable for him. He'll get the perfect track for him today. Will he be better on Wednesday in the Stewards? Yeah, probably, but you don't come to this race underdone, so I reckon he'll give you a great sight. You watch his last bit here, and he really finds the line strongly. That signified to his inside, of course, and Enzo's Lad taking out the Telegraph by the barest of margins. So if Sensei's able to reproduce that, then they'll go very hard in this, I believe. He'll give you some sort of sight today. I think he's clear top pick. I reckon he's an even better bet come Wednesday. Don Carlo, I respect. Disturbance, the big horse. They've finally decided that he's a sprinter, and he's a pretty good one at that. Don't be put off by his first up run. He has an exemplary second up record. And I guess weight of money suggests Weka Force will be in front. The other thing about Weka Force's win last time, that rail out a long way here at Riccarton Park, Bevan, often favours those on the speed. With it back in the true today and this talented lineup trying to chase her down, I think she'll need to be at her absolute best.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Greg. Money always seems to come for that particular horse and big ownership group as well, but she has really helped them out as well with her winning performances. Race number 6, the Energy Event Centre Rotorua Premier over the 1600 metres. Duke Plumpton at 280. Remington forward, spoken to Jamie, expects a run there. Upper hand 460 and All But Me at $6. Steve, is there a move here?
There is, Sweens. It's number 3 in Remington, clearly the best bat runner. In fact, I was that close to making it the best bat runner on the card at Riccarton today. But Remington clearly the best lead here, $4 trading off a peak of $4.20. Accounts around about 70% of total turnover, and there's just no money for number 5, Duke of Plumpton, who in its last 2 starts, winning starts, has been well supported, but not this time round. So maybe a race later in the carnival for Duke of Plumpton. But on this occasion, Remington is clearly the best back runner. Nice platform, 4th up here over the 1600 metres, and has been well supported to back up next Wednesday in the Couplands Mile, where it's trading at $14 in all-in betting. So Remington, clearly the biggest go. Upper hand, second best back runner, even though it sits in that third line of betting. Could have got $5.50 during the week, now trading at 4.6.
Okay, let's get to the speed map for race number 6. There's not a lot here, All But Me, the obvious to the inside, Greg, but I don't know about you, but when you see KT Myers and then throwing a bit of Patrick Payne around a runner, just pricks my ears up every time.
Yeah, it has to, and so it should. All But Me will be leading here. I thought Upper Hand was a good chance. I know his record at the 1600 doesn't read well on paper, but he's actually better than that, and his run here last time. And behind a flying Monster Securto, that's it with the white face there, and directly behind it is Upper Hand. I thought was good enough to be more than competitive in this race today, so I'm happy to be with him. This was a deep race, and Upper Hand performed with very good credit.
Keto fresh up, Kiwi Ida's looming into it. Ticket to Ride still leads Monza Keto. Upper Hand getting through, wide out Kiwi Ida. Ticket to Ride's offering plenty. Monza Keto, the middle, they hit it. There's a win. Monza Keto. Monza Keto beat Ticket.
So that's back from open handicap to 82 today. I don't think that's very significant. It does go up slightly in weight, but I think Upper Hand's worth specking at the price. Valadiro's one that I'm considering today. Lost his iron early in the piece there, did Kavish Chowdhury last time. Sam Weatherly rides today. We know this horse was good enough to go around at stakes level in Australia on more than one occasion and perform right up to it too. So I reckon he's a chance too, and he's actually a chance to go around in the Copeland. So yeah, I'm happy to have something on him. Duke of Plumpton's flying, and Remington with the money on too, and maybe a Copeland's Mile run there as well. So that's the way I lined them up in race number 6, but it's a very competitive 6th on the program. Before we get to our feature today, the Albasti Equa World 2000 Guineas, the 47th running of this very good race, I had an opportunity earlier in the week to catch up with Clayton Chipperfield and learn a little bit more about Catalyst.
We knew we had something pretty special his first jump out, you know, carrying me. He won his first jump out under a stranglehold by 15 lengths, you know, and then he went and did it again 2 weeks later in another jump out. So we were confident we had something pretty special, but to do what he's done so early on is a bit mind-boggling, really. Just to be lucky enough to be the one to say I'm training him, you know, it's just an absolute dream. He's never needed the experience. He was switched on from day one, you know, so it made life a lot easier. And being Darcy Brahma, you know, they're often like that. To have the father to win this and then have one of his sons go out and do the same thing would be phenomenal for the Oaks. And it'd be good to see Harlech run second too, because they've still got the broodmare.
But he's going to do it at both ends here, and Catalyst continues the boom. An outstanding win in the Guineas, and Catalyst gets it by 3 easy enough.
He doesn't need a lot of training, you know. Since his last race, he's only had a 800-metre jump out and easy 1400 at Tiara last week, you know. And after that gallop, we knew we had him pretty right, you know. So we've just been ticking him along since. The pressure is there, but when I line one up, we're pretty confident we've done everything we can. Good boy. Yeah, he's done. Couldn't be happy with him. He jig-jogged off the float when we got here. Very well, bright in the eyes, and he's licked the bowl since we got here. So, I mean, travelling was never going to be an issue with him. He's travelled a fair bit in his last 3 starts, you know, and he enjoys it. I don't think the mile's a question. To be fair, like I said, the way he relaxes in his running, you know, he just switches off, and when you push that button, he's got a massive turn of foot. Ideally tomorrow, I mean, we've got the perfect draw. I mean, the way his racing style, we can put him in anywhere we like, you know. If something wants to ping the gates, we'll sit behind them. If not, we can lead. He's a nice relaxed rider, Troy. You know, he doesn't panic, and obviously you put a rider on who can panic, well, it can obviously upset the horse and get them over racing as well. But he's got great hands, and as soon as he drops them, Troy relaxes, and so does the horse, you know. They are a perfect match. It'll be a huge relief once it's all over, you know. I mean, there's been a lot of media going into this horse in the last 3 or 4 months, and it's been great, you know. But no, certainly looking forward to it, you know. And half Te Amutu are behind us too, you know. They're all loving it. It's just a big opportunity like this come out of a small town, you know. It's great.
Yeah, great opportunity to catch up with an outstanding rider in his day, particularly obviously over the fences, but he's done a magnificent job with this horse. And Bevan, when he lines one up, they're invariably ready to go. When he's lined this one up, he absolutely has been.
Yeah, he looked pretty chilled out there in his yard. Nothing bothers him, and nothing really has bothered him race day when I have seen him, and he's just been electric. Let's have a talk to Stephen Hunt around this particular market, because I'm not sure there's going to be much more than multis running through it. Are they willing to go somewhere else at all here, Stephen?
But to be honest, no swings. They've spec'd a couple at longer rods, including the filly. And I talk about number 11, All About Magic, 81 to 61. That's happened the last hour or so. Run to Perfection has been spec'd to $18. Sherwood Forest, interesting enough, one horse that's proven over the mile, has been a notable drifter, 12 out to 15. And Coulson Mav in that second line of betting, a slight move inwards, 750 to 7. But back on the favourite Catalyst, we've already seen 4-figure beats on him. I don't think he's going to start any higher than $1.20. In fact, I'm anticipating a 5-figure bet, maybe 1 or 2 of them later on this afternoon. There's some nice all-in betting markets or tickets around Catalyst, who opened at $4 a few months back for the 2000 Guineas. And we also have a couple of special betting options which you can find on the website. Just scroll below the final field betting in this particular race, and you'll see a fave removed. At this stage, Coulson Mav, a $2.40 favourite in that particular market. And also Catalyst, official winning margin on option 1179. Have a look and browse on those on the website.
Let's have a look at the speed map for the race. Look, he did it at both ends, Greg, at Hastings over 1,400 metres. That tells me a mile, no worries at all. If there is a niggle, maybe he's just missed away the last couple of times from an inside gate. He might get in a little bit of trouble, but as we saw at Ruakaka, he can get himself out of trouble.
Yeah, I reckon he would have learned a lot that day at Ruakaka, and of course his performance at Hawke's Bay was nothing short of breathtaking. Troy Harris has had success in this race with Tail, so I have no fears that he will steer him in the right direction, and it's just great to have a horse, potentially one of the best we've seen here at Riccarton Park, on track to have a crack at the 2000 Guineas. Gee, it was hard to drop one. Here is the performance, by the way, at Hawke's Bay. Call Sign Mav went terrific in this race, but he just got round the bend like a greyhound and then had the audacity to do this to them.
Two Checkers, exuberant. Sherwood Forest running on over on the outside. Oh, but he's going to do it at both ends here. And Catalyst continues the boom. An outstanding win in the Guineas. And Catalyst gets it by 3, easing up. Call Sign Mav second.
I suppose if you're looking for a pot on him or a reason for him to get beaten, he's 5 weeks between runs, but really, you're searching for a reason for something to not be right with him, and you've just heard from Clayton Chipperfield that he couldn't be happier with him. He's travelled down, he looks in wonderful order. He had a nice look around Riccarton on Thursday, and he said he just handled everything with great aplomb. He's by Darcy Brahma, as is Harlech, and this was a terrific win in the Sarton, a win that if Catalyst wasn't in it, I believe he would be favourite for this race. Yes, he's got a wider straw, so where he settles in the run will be quite interesting, but in terms of a Guineas trial, this is right up there as well.
After them, wider out Cinzento, Manchu, further back, Double Impact is getting up and behind them at the 150. Harlech burst to the lead from She's a Lady, battling on Bellamente, Run to Perfection's arriving late with Chiaretta, but Harlech is bolted in second over Run to Perfection, Bellamente third, and then we've got...
The other one clearly out of that, Run to Perfection, I've actually had to find a spot for the son of Seapoy, trained by Stephen Marsh, has Matt Cameron. He's tasted success in this race a couple of times, of course, and I think it's a dead set trifecta in first 4, Hope, and I'm not going to be tipping against Catalyst, but they're two very smart horses, Harlech and Run to Perfection, and then you've got Call Sign Mav, who finished second term, and Sherwood Forest, who's been here to Riccarton Park, missed the kick, came wide on a track with the rail out that far that wouldn't have aided those horses trying to swoop, and he did exactly that and was too strong for them. So I think it's a bit deeper than Catalyst, but realistically, Bevan, it's hard to find a reason why he won't be winning this today.
Yeah, and I hope he does keep on winning, because we need these stars to keep on winning, and he looks like one, and there'll be Australia in the autumn for him, no doubt, if he has success today. Let's move on to the 8th, the Gold Club Premier over the 1200 metres. We've got Somewhere Man down from the north for Josh Shaw. Lisa Allpress does the riding. Tote favourite $5.50. Clooney at $6.50. On show is the favourite, the 14 for Johnny Barry. But just notice there's a bit of speaking for the former Northerner now with the Pitmans here, Steve, the 6.
Yeah, well spotted, Swains. Number 6, Cyclops, used to be with Fraser Rhett. It's had one run in the last 12 months. There's money on. Sam Weatherly does the riding. Opened at 12, now trading at 10. Currently our biggest liability in an open 65. Back to the top of the book, number 14, On Show. Well supported blinkers go on here for the John Barry stable. 4 into $3.80. Somewhere Man, that second line of betting, solid at 5.5. And Clooney well spec'd also 7.5 off an opening quote of 7, now down to $6.50. Has had a little bit of speaking in the last hour or so, but your best lead is number 6 in that middle market, 12 into 10.
Let's have a look at the speed map for this race. Greg, when I was having a look at it earlier, I thought Somewhere Man and On Show, in all likelihood, could dominate from a forward position in this race.
Yeah, and if they do, they'll be right in the fight throughout and right at the finish, I think, as well. Somewhere Man's form and behind the likes of More Wonder and another one of Lisa Ladders at Trentham back in December, Lincoln something it was, anyway, is very strong. And second up, you wouldn't come to a carnival like this unless you were confident. So, yeah, I have plenty of respect around it. Louis a smart horse. Stephen Woodsford brings a good team here today. First up, Win Timaru, very good, and then straight up in grade was excellent last time behind Stellar Days, I thought. So I'll give it a chance. Don't mind the Swiss Maestro up the top of the book as well here, Bevan. Horse that's performed at Trentham at the carnival up there, and it's pretty smart. Second up record, no problem there at all. Michael McNabb to do the riding. Respect around it, and then obviously On Show back in this grade. So often we see it when they go through the age group build-ups to Guineas and then don't go there. When they're back in their own grade, they perform.
Let's have a look at the Metrop. This is race number 9 on the program. A good strong field goes here. Fela coming to hand nicely. Chief Sequoia, good win down south last time. Duplicity flew home in the Fielding Cup. Salsa missed a run, 8.50, but I think she'll stay all day, this particular mare. And I'm pretty interested around D&G. I think this horse is going really well. Stephen, the moves here in race number 9.
Firstly, is a betting caution around the top 2 in betting, and Fala and Duplicity may be waiting for 7 days' time. New Zealand Cup. Interesting enough, I see Samantha Wynn riding Fala. I think Leith Innes is booked to ride next Saturday, 53 kilograms on his back. New Zealand Cup around Fala. That might be questionable around Leith Innes. So Sam Wynn could pick up the ride in Fala in 7 days' time. Al Haram in that third line of betting, well supported at $7.50. It's a big liability around this particular runner, and all-in betting for New Zealand Cup from memory opened at $61 a few weeks back. Salsa 8 out to $8.50. A couple they have spec, knowing the fact there's a lack of money around the top 2 in the market. One of them being Chief Sequoia, drawn the ace. I think will put itself in the race as it did a couple of weeks ago when it won. Opened at $14, now trading at $9.50. And Humble Pie in the back of an impressive win the CD last start. Also been spec 12 into 10. Outside that, a little bit of specking around Nymph Monte, even though it's drifted, 11 out to 13. And King of the Dance, 18 into 16, has been running home nicely without winning in its last few starts. But overall, your nice little leaders around number 6, Chief Sequoia and Humble Pie.
Yeah, I'm surprised the price around Nymph Monte. I love the booking of Jason Waddell on this horse this afternoon. I think that might just see him show his best. The speed map for the third of the features there this afternoon. Oh, it just left me scratching my head. Gregor Fraction.
Yeah, you're not alone there, Bevan. There's many winning chances here. Fala last year was second, then went on and ran third in the New Zealand Cup, and I'm expecting a big run from him today with Sam Wynn aboard for Stephen Marsh. Duplicity actually went round in this race and again was placed in the Cup. Did only finish 7th last year, but that run last time at Awapuni, you saw that. Clearly he's going in the right direction and must be accorded a good chance today. Always respect around the Adrian Bull team. Here's Duplicity's run. And also Nymph Monte, you're right about him. He actually kept finding the line here, and his form belies the way he's been going, I reckon. He's won a couple of times here, and of course he's won this race, albeit 3 years ago, but I didn't mind the way he found the line here, and Duplicity making up ground on a day where they didn't really swoop down the outside from what I can recall. So, yeah, there's plenty of chances here. I'm also respecting the 11 Salsa Fe and King of the Dance. I know the connections were hoping to get him into the New Zealand Cup, and at $200, some of them got on. Now at $26 in the Christchurch Casino New Zealand Cup. Gee, there's plenty to look at here. Chief Sequoia in front. This was the Spring Classic and was brilliantly rated by Sam Weatherly, who rides again. Does go up 3.5 on this, and again, I don't want to keep going on about the rail, but when it's out this far, it certainly gives an advantage to those on the speed, and it was able to sprint away with a lightweight and was too strong. D&G won this race last year, goes up significantly in weight, but is probably racing even better, and when you go through her form around the Wellington Cup, Auckland Cup, you have to be thinking that the New Zealand Cup next week's going to be right up her alley. I expect her to go a good race today. And, of course, the Charles Corbett combination, potentially with 3 runners in the New Zealand Cup. I want to see how King of the Dance goes today because he certainly finds the line. Owen Patrick, their other runner, along with D&G. So a 3-pronged attack next week, 2 in it this week, and both have to be accorded a chance. But Fala has been here, done it before, and I think he can do it again today.
Okay, we wrap the day at 20 minutes to 6 with the 65 over the 1,600 metres. This is how the market sits. And I Am a Rock is your favourite at $4.40. Open up 480, so there's been good strong support there. Billy Mav at 6 for Kevin Myers, Upscale 9, and Gloss down the bottom for the Pitmans has also, Stephen, come in for some pretty strong support.
Open race swings, $4.40 the field, led by I'm a Rock. Jason Laking does the riding here for John Blackadder, $4.40. The one I'm going to point out, the best lead, sits in that 4th line of betting, number 8, Upscale for Troy Harris. Big day for him. We've already touched on with Catalyst and co. I think the good track suits this individual by Tavistock opened at $14, now trading at $9. You still could have got $11 when we opened this market this morning. Just keeps tumbling in the price and the money at $9 upscale. Probably one of the better back runners in a middle market up and down the card at Riccarton today. Outside that, just a race that lacks a little bit of turnover. No data at present, so you might just want to keep an eye on a few runners around this particular runner. But as it stands right now, the best lead is number 8, upscale.
Let's have a look at the speed map, and I noticed one here, Greg. I know Johnny Mace loves a trip away. He's all the way from Tokoroa with Kipling. I thought there is a race that might just be leader dominated. He could probably get a nice posse from that draw, and that horse isn't going too badly at $30 odd.
Yeah, nice one. Nice way to get out on the day if it hasn't been your day. But again, I think this is pretty open. I'm happy to be with I Am a Rock. 3 runs this time in, all very good, all here at Riccarton Park, trained by John Blackadder. The team's going well, has engaged Jason Laking for this, and I reckon I Am a Rock can win the last and probably get the punters home to head into Wednesday. Definite threat, Billy Maeve, again, the Myers combination of Kevin and Rosie. Chance to upscale at an each way price, and the other one is Gloss, and you can never drop her, Bevan, but oh gee, at times she's painful. She's getting short enough now for a horse that doesn't win out a turn, but her performance last time, you know, the form behind leaderboard is going to stack up, and I think it's a pretty smart horse leaderboard, and you're going to see more of it for sure. All right, how do we have a crack at the strategy today? There's someone missing here, BP. Plain has had an issue getting on track, but we've got a strategy in a moment for you. On with anything could happen in TC Cope as the best in value, and that's why I've spread my $100 strategy around them. That $50 place multi comes back about $220, $230, so double your money stuff, and I don't think you'll have a lot of pain around either of those runners, so anything could happen into TC Cope, the place multi to start off Cup Week. What about for Brendan Popperwell, who will be hosting out of the carnival here in this seat once he arrives? He's with Monderani, so he's going head-to-head with me in race number 1, and he likes Louis, another of the Woodsford team. In race number 8, he's playing around Monderani Tormund, that horse we were talking about of the Myers team. In race number 3, a 10 each way spin to get you a couple of hundred back. She's All Mine, of course, takes its place in the Pegasus, and he's gone each way on Louis as well. So there's a $100 strategy from BP, who's been in outstanding form, as I understand, Bevan, on the lounge. It's nice to be part of it again, and looking forward to being part of your Cup Carnival out of Riccarton Park, and of course Addington Raceway, their big go on Tuesday.